Hello, hello, good evening, and welcome to Bird's Nest Designs. Tonight we're pulling soft pastels out of the craft stash, and I'm going to show you two really easy card making techniques to use with them. So when you join me live here tonight, say hello, let me know you're watching. I love to know who I'm here stamping with. And if you're catching the replay, please leave me a comment. I read those too. So for those of you we haven't met yet, my name is Denise Cox. I am the heart and hands of Bird's Nest Designs, a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, but more importantly, I am just so excited to be here sharing my love of stamping with you. So as I mentioned, please say hello, let me know you're here. And tonight we are going to, like I said, we're going to have so much fun with these Stampin' Pastels. So I'm just going to give you a second or two just to pop on, just while I get everything organized here on my desk. Just going to adjust this camera just a slight little bit. All right, okay, checking everything's live, everything's good to go. Volume's good. Hello, Jen, good evening. Tonight is Thursday, March 5th. If my mom is out there watching, hello and happy birthday. Hello, Gail, hello, Carla. Nice to see you all here this evening. Just adjusting one last thing here, and then we're going to turn the camera down and get started. Hi, Carol. Nice to see you. Okay, let's turn this camera down. Here we go. Okay, so like I said, we're going to play with these amazing soft pastels. So if you've got them hidden away in your craft stash, this is going to be a video that hopefully inspires you to pull them out and give them a whirl. If you don't already own these, I do believe Stampin' Up! Is still selling them in their online store, so you can check them out there too. But these ones are going to be super fun. So somebody comment, please let me know the volume's good and the photo's good. Just making sure everything is good to go. All right, so as I mentioned, soft pastels. We're gonna, for this first technique, we're going to be using the VersaMark ink pad, some sponge daubers that you see here. You're also going to want to have the spatula end of a take a pick tool or something similar. Okay. Hi, Jennifer. And I find it very helpful. You'll see why, to have a silicone mat close at hand. Okay, thanks, Carla. She says all is good. Sound and video are good to go. Okay, so for this first card, thanks, Jen, we're going to be using two Stampin' Up! Products. Well, three actually. So we're going to be using the Natural Botanicals stamp set, and we're going to be using the Sweet Bugs bundle. So you can craft along with me, pull things from your stash, and make this card any which way you like. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this image here of the Natural Botanicals, okay? And we're going to need some paper, of course. Okay, so we're going to use a really fun color combo. We've got some Granny Apple Green, Mossy Meadow, a little bit of Petunia Pop, and a bunch of white. So it's going to be a nice, fun, bright color combo. First thing we want to do is take all these pieces off to the side. I want to find the piece that's going to layer onto my Mossy Meadow. So there it is right there. So this one measures 3 3/4 by 5. And we're going to get ready first. So these are your Stampin' Pastels. You can, let me just give you a quick little demo. So you can take out, this one happens to be Mossy Meadow, and you can just color away with them like that. Okay, you can do lots with these. You can take your sponge dauber, just rub it on your pastel, rub it on there. Lots of different ways, and I'm sure you could teach me one or two as well. So in the comments, I would love to know, actually, while you're all here, let me know if you have Stampin' Pastels and when was the last time you used them. I would love to know. I know for me, they've been high. I had to like dust them off because they've been in my drawer for so long. Hello, Anita. Hi, Kathy. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna get prepped. I was going somewhere with that. So we've got our silicone mat. We're gonna take the spatula end. Like I said, if you don't have this, you can use anything similar. If you have X-Acto blade, you'll see what I'm doing and you'll be able to figure out what it is you need to have. Okay, so I'm going to take the light green here, and using the spatula, I'm going to scrape my pastel, and I'm going to create a pile of this beautiful, colorful powder. Okay, And we do need a fair amount for this card we're going to create. So we'll stop there. We can always add more. Okay, did you see all I was doing is just scraping my pastel and getting that dust off. Okay, think of this like when you want to use your blender pen and you squish the ink pads, you get the ink on the lid. This is kind of the same idea, just a different, obviously different way to go about it. So now we're going to take our Mossy Meadow one. We're going to do the same. Okay, see how that's just, it's so easy, you guys. I'm not putting hardly any pressure on here. Okay, so I've got a pile of our Mossy Meadow. And then we're going to take one more color, and I think I'm going to pull this yellow. So this one looks like it's crushed curry. I do believe this might be an older set too. The colors in the new one are probably a little different because this is, I think, a retired one potentially. Okay, so we've got piles of the dust. See that? Okay. All right, Jennifer says she doesn't have these because she doesn't know what to do with them. Well, hopefully tonight's video inspires you. So we've got our piles of dust. We've got our ink, our stamp all ready to get inked, and we're going to use our VersaMark ink pad. Now you will want to have a sponge dauber or a piece of sponge or even a Q-tip handy, for one for each color we're using. So for this card, we're using these three. And don't worry, it doesn't wreck your sponge dauber. When you're done, you can just rinse them out, let them dry, and they'll be good to go for your next use. So I'm going to take my VersaMark ink pad, and I'm going to ink up this leaf. Now, you probably won't see what I'm stamping on the video here, but you'll see it when it comes, when it matters, you'll be able to see. Okay, so I'm stamping it just sort of randomly. It's hard for me even to see, so hopefully we don't overstamp them. Okay. And then let's go here. You do have to be a little bit quick with the VersaMark because it will dry. When you stamp with VersaMark, it's sticky. If you've got one, you know what I mean. It's a little sticky so that embossing powder will stick to it, but it also works amazingly for this. So there, and then I see one corner down here. And then I see one more little hole up here. So we're going to go ahead and stamp as much of this in there as we can. Okay, and hopefully I'm not going to overlap them. Okay, so from what I can see, we have the VersaMark ink stamped all over this piece of white paper. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our, we'll start with Mossy Meadow. Okay, so we're going to take our sponge dauber and we're going to just dab it into our dust over here, and then we're going to just gently start rubbing over our paper. Look at that. Isn't this cool? So fun. Okay, so we're going to do that. Oh my gosh, I just started hearing music in the background. I hope you guys can't hear that. Or hopefully if you do, it's not too loud. Okay, so there we have it. Like, this is so cool, right? Now we'll take our Granny Apple Green, same thing, and I'm just gonna, and I'm gonna show you when I did my other sample, my original one, I did something a little different. So I'm gonna show you two different ways. So essentially tonight you're gonna learn 3 different techniques to use with our Stampin' Pastels. Okay, I think I did some more over here. And then let's grab that yellow. Okay, we'll come in here with the yellow. And then just for some fun, let's go ahead and go back to our Mossy Meadow and tie, oh, that one just fell on the ground, and tie it all together in the corner here. Okay, so what do you guys think so far? Now we can take and dust off that dust. I don't really love how those white marks are there, so I'm going to come in here lightly with my dauber and just fill those in. Okay, now if you continue to go over, watch this. So if you see maybe this one right here, see how light that is right now? we're gonna come in again and go over top. And now look how that just darkened. So depending on how much you want it to stand out, you just keep on going over it with your sponge dauber. Okay, so I think that's a really cool technique. What do you guys think? All right, so now we'll go ahead and we'll assemble our card. I'm going to carefully move this dust over to my other table so we don't end up having that everywhere for now. And what I do recommend, because that dust is kind of layering on top there, turn it on over and just give it a little flick, get all that loose stuff off so it's not going all over your desk. Okay, so super easy technique so far, right? But let me show you how awesome it is when you put this whole card together. So we're gonna grab that Mossy Meadow 4 x 5 1/4 piece of cardstock, and we're gonna attach our beautifully made Soft Pastels background. So this could be used for so many different card making projects, right? Or scrapbooking even. Now with scrapbooking, I'd be a little careful because this dust will come off. Not enough to worry, but I did see that you could actually get a clear coat like spray and spray it over here to seal that right in if you wanted to. But for this intent, we're just gonna leave it as is. So we've got that. Now I'm going to take our little piece of Petunia Pop. This is 1 inch long or wide by 4 1/4 long. And I'm gonna use my banner punch because you guys know, if you follow me, you know how much I love this punch. And I'm gonna punch both ends. Okay. So we're just making a nice little flag element. No, Jennifer's asking if the chalk doesn't come off. No, look, I mean, it will. If I sat here and, you know, I'm gonna have a little bit on my fingers, but it will not come completely off. No, it's very cool. So that's that. Our card, we're using Granny Apple Green. So I will fold that in half, give it a burnish. And now we can attach that to the front of our card. Okay. All right, then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna attach this guy across the center, and then we're gonna pull in those adorable little bugs. So the Sweet Bugs bundle, I told you we're gonna use that too. That one's a newer one. So we're using from our stash an old favorite, the natural botanicals that we use for the background, and then we're pulling in a newer favorite in the Sweet Bugs bundle. So this is a really good way to show how you can like intermix your stamp sets and have a lot of fun just playing. So I've got a scrap piece of white. I'm gonna grab my Mossy Meadow ink pad. And then from the Sweet Bug stamp, we're gonna stamp Hello Friend. Okay, and then let's go ahead and we're gonna pop that out using this punch here. You can use any shape you want. I just happened to grab this one, and what it's called has escaped me, but it's very cool. It's one I use a lot. So we're gonna put that one over here. Now you could be done with your card just like that. If you want to do a nice, quick, simple card, then add your label and call her done because it's super pretty, right? Maybe add a little bit of bling. But other than that, your card could be done just simply like this with that gorgeous background. But because we're crafting here live and I love cute little things, we're gonna go ahead and color this little bug that I pre-stamped and die cut ahead of time. So I'm gonna use, to tie in with our card, I'm gonna use Granny Apple Green and Petunia Pop to color our little critter here. So using my dark Granny Apple Green, I'm just gonna color this leaf. And these images, oh my gosh. I told myself when this first came out that I did not need to have these bugs in my collection and that just the DSP was going to be enough. But then I started playing with the DSP and I decided that in actuality I would use these guys a lot, and so I added them to my collection. All right, so let's just outline this. Remember, I've got one more totally different background technique to show you using our Stampin' Pastels, as well as the other version of this card that I made originally that's slightly different, just to give you another little idea. Okay, so there's our leaf. And then we're going to color this worm petunia pot. We're going to have a very beautiful, cute little worm here. Okay. So this is, again, this is petunia pop to tie in with that banner that we punched. Okay. There we go. He's just outlined, not doing anything fancy here. And then we're going to do that. Now, if you're enjoying today's video, please do me a favor and click that thumbs up button or the little heart. Send those emojis, share the video, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed to my channel. All of that just takes seconds and means so much and really helps spread the word on my channel. So I appreciate all of you who do that. All right, so there's our cute little worm guy. So what we'll do is we'll flip them over. We're gonna add some bumpets. For now, I'm just putting one on the top, one on the bottom. And then we're just gonna stick him right here. And like, how cute? How cute is that? And then of course, a little bit of bling always helps make that card just look finished. So I'm gonna pull in these guys. They are the Garden Epoxy Dots, and use the yellow. And we're just gonna pop a couple of them. I always need to have triplets of these, so that one doesn't want to stick. There we go. So there is our card. Now for the inside, I don't like to leave anything, like no naked insides, as I like to say. So we're gonna real quick grab that ink pad again, the VersaMark pad. Okay, so this is just a like a regular insert 4 by 5 1/4 is what I like to use inside my cards. And then we're gonna ink this up. Stamp it just down here in the corner. And then I bet there's already enough dust on these to just go ahead and give this a little bit of color. And then let's add a bit of that yellow there too. And now our inside matches the outside of our card, which I love. Always makes it feel that little bit more special. So we'll go ahead and we'll attach that inside. Now tell me, have I inspired you to pull those pastels out and give this a whirl? There we go. Isn't that adorable? So this is tonight's version. And what I want you to pay attention to is the background. So on this one, I just went all over it with the pastel dust. So you can see the white is colored. Fairly dark, right? You can definitely tell there's color on there. With the one that I made the other night in preparation for today's video, I was very careful to only get the dust on the VersaMark. So to do that, I just put less pressure and less dust. And so you can see that it pops a little bit because the color is more white here. So there you go. There's two different versions, just depending on the amount of pressure you put when you're applying the pastel dust. So let me know which one you're excited to try. Okay, so I'm not seeing many comments. I hope that means you guys are busy crafting along with me. I'm just gonna grab a sip of coffee and then we're gonna move on to that second technique I promised. Okay, let's put these two off to the side. Get rid of this. I'm just going to give my desk a little bit of a dust because we do have some chalk on it. We're done with the markers. Let's give it a little quick 10-second tidy, as I used to tell my children. Okay, now what we're going to do for this technique, we're going to use, of course, the pastels again. I've got a new silicone mat. Okay, because we're going to use some different colors. So I've got a second one out here. You do not need to have second, just give yours a wipe off and carry on. But I just, for the case of this video, we're going to just pull out my second one. So We're going to use an embossing folder for this one. Okay, I'm seeing 2 comments that they like tonight's version better, so that's awesome. Woohoo! Okay, so tonight, for this second one, we're going to use an embossing folder. Now, you can use any embossing folder you want. I was drawn to this one, the layered florals, because of the actual floral images it stamps. And you'll see why in just a sec. So here it is embossed, and you can see how great that is. And I do believe this one's retired. So if you don't have this one, just pull another one out from your collection and you'll be able to do just the same. All right, so I'll put that off to the side. Now we're gonna pull in our, where'd it go? Our little spatula again. And this time we're gonna play with some different colors. So for this one, I wanna use purple. Where's my purple lovers out there? I know many of my followers always get excited when I use purple. So here we are, we're gonna use some gorgeous grape. Okay. And then we're gonna use some red. This one is Poppy Parade. Okay. Oh, and then I think for fun, we're gonna pull in a little bit of this. I don't know if this is Coastal Cabana, maybe it's Bermuda Bay, I don't know. Whatever this fun teal is, we're gonna use that one. Okay. All right, so now we've got our chalks prepared. If you wanted to, if you don't like the idea of doing the scraping, then by all means, just take your dauber and rub it onto your pastel. It's just gonna take longer and you won't get quite as much on it, and so it won't be as bold. That's my only tip for you. Okay, so now that we have these beautiful flowers and dust everywhere, oh my goodness. Okay, let's do that. Okay, so now, where's my scrap? Let's put the scrap paper underneath again. So let's go with purple for our, I'm gonna just dab it just like we did before, but did you notice? No VersaMark this time, just dry powder. And for this one, we're gonna just carefully go around and color over the image where we want it. Now don't think this is gonna come out perfectly and that you're not gonna color outside of the lines, but it's okay, give yourself permission to color outside those lines. So we're gonna do that and then we're gonna tap it off. Now do you see how that color has transferred onto the embossing? So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do all of these large flowers in the purple. Now I can't tell if that, I think that's a leaf. And then this looks like the part of a flower. The more dust, the darker. So go ahead and make some dark, some light, however you want. Just have fun. The idea of this technique that I love the best was that it's fun. And I gave myself permission to make a mess and get outside the lines and just have a lot of fun with it. So if that sounds fun to you, then you'll want to give this a try. Okay, and then we got one down here. Have I missed any? I don't think so. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and we'll shake that off. All right, now let's pick a next color. So I think for the red, because red's gonna look really pretty, this Poppy Parade. This one, you probably, if you were gonna be more particular, you might wanna use a Q-tip or something because these flowers are small. But for what I'm gonna show you, I'm cool with it just getting a little messy. So I'm just gonna go over these smaller flowers in the red. This one down here. That one. There's one over here. Oh, and I see one. Actually, we're gonna leave that one. I'm gonna do something different with that one. So now I'm gonna come and shake off that dust again. And look, see how you go in there, you can sometimes get a little bit off if you want, but be careful you don't have purple dust all over your hands like I just did. Okay, now let's go and grab that teal color. And for this one, I think what we'll do is we'll just do these bigger flowers in the center here, medium ones. And just realize we're gonna need a green. Missed a little red one over there. We're gonna need a green for the leaves. So luckily we have one in our collection here. I'm gonna just pull in my other mat because we already had a bunch of dust left over. And I think for this one, we'll actually use the darker, the Mossy Meadow. I'll just come on here like this. All right, what are you guys thinking of this? It's pretty cool. I really like, it's so freeing because you're not trying to stay in the lines or be particular. It's just fun. Like I said, give yourself permission to just make a mess and have fun with it. Okay, so there we have it. Now I'm going, oh, we missed one. Almost had it. There's a little green one there I missed. Okay, so then we're gonna shake that off again, turn it over, give it a flick, get all that extra dust off. And then look at that background. Isn't that gorgeous? Like, can you think of so many different things you could do with that? So let me show you the card I made. We're not gonna make it here tonight live, but I'm gonna show you what I did with this background that I made earlier this week. So I took that background and I created this Have a Lovely Day card. So layered the background onto Poppy Parade, onto a gorgeous grape card. And then I used the Have a Lovely Day from that stamp set bundle. I can't remember what it's called. But you guys probably know. If you're familiar with Stampin' Up, you know, but if you're not, don't worry. Any kind of words you could use. Again, you could just do the label like we did on the first card, do something similar. But there you have it. There's your quick and easy 2 techniques using the amazing Soft Pastels. So let me know if you have them in your collection and maybe you don't use them often. Are you tempted to or inspired to pull them out and give them a whirl? Let me know in the comments. Now, before we go, I do want to pop back on here on the face view and ask you guys a very serious question. I want you to type in the comment what your favorite type of stamping video is to watch. Do you like techniques? Do you like fun folds? Do you like the craft from your stash where I make one card, switch it up, put it with another? I am just doing some, call it market research, and just trying to decide. I'd like to add in a few extra videos here and there throughout the month. And I would love to know what you guys, my loyal viewers, would like to see more of. So type that in the comment, whether you're here live or catching the replay. As I said, I read them all. So if you could do that for me, that would be awesome. All right. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you loved tonight's video. I had so much fun creating these cards here with you guys tonight. And I hope that I've inspired you to go into your collection, pull out your pastels, and give them a whirl. All right, everybody, until next week, I will be live Thursday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, here to share some more inspiration and creative fun with all of you. Until then, have a great week, and we'll see you all soon. Cheers.